He's today been forced to resign from the House of Lords, the upper house of the British Parliament, over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Just wondered if you had any reaction to that, since obviously he was...
I didn't know about it, but I really don't know too much about it. I know who he is. It's too bad. Speaking of Epstein, I will say this. A reporter named Wolf and Epstein conspired. This just came out yesterday in the millions of pages of documents, how crazy this is, conspired against me in order to fight like hell to make sure I lose the election. That's the only thing that was mentioned about me. Now, about Democrats, some really bad stuff, but about me, that Wolf, whoever Wolf is, he wrote a book, a couple of books, and Epstein conspired against me. Did you know that, Mr. Senator?
I did know that.
They conspired against me so I lose the election, or worse. So that takes care of Epstein as far as Trump is concerned, but you got a lot of Democrats out there that are very much involved with Epstein. But I'll be honest with you, you got to get back to running the country, too. Millions and millions every week. You know, when Epstein was alive, nobody cared about him. When he's dead, they care about him. But it's really a Democrat problem. It's not a Republican, it's a Democrat problem. The only problem Republicans have is that we have to get back to, number one, running our country, and then number two, very importantly, letting the public know what a great job we're doing. We have the greatest economy in the history of the world. We have $18 trillion being spent. The record was $3 trillion many years ago, not by us, by another country. I won't say the country. Yeah, please.
Did you read those new files, Mr. President, that came out?
Have you been briefed on Savannah Guthrie's mom missing?
Hey, 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 guess what day? Guess what? Guess what day? Hey, 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 guess what day? Guess what? Guess what day? Guess what? No list, guess what? No arrest, as if a million QAnon cried out in terror and suddenly silenced. But guess what? Guess what day it is? It's hump day. Hey, 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 guess what day? Guess what? Guess what day? Hey, hey, hey.
Today is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, and today we are planning on speaking with the most right man in all of America, nay, the entire world. The great Alex Jones will be joining our program to talk about the fallout from the Epstein files, Melinda Gates throwing Bill Gates under the bus, the plandemic, and some of the dark, evil arts that has been revealed inside of the Epstein files, along with, of course, what culpability does our federal government and intel agencies hold when it comes to funding, covering up, and facilitating the evil Epstein operation. We've learned so much, and Alex Jones is the man to talk about it with. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. This show is brought to you by American Financing. American Financing is helping Americans who are trapped in high-interest credit card debt get out of that debt and get out fast. That is exactly how they get you into slavery. We don't want slavery in this country. We want you to be free to experience the golden era. So call American Financing today to see how they can help you. 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, our show also brought to you by Paleo Valley. Paleo Valley is an excellent source of protein. You might call it a beef stick. Not beef jerky. It is 100% grass-fed beef, fed and finished here in the American markets, sourced from U.S. family farmers that use rotational grazing practices. It's keto and paleo approved, organic spices, fermented for gut health, and of course, it contains no carbs or sugars. It's a wonderful and tasty way to get the protein that you need in the snack of a stick, the snap of a stick. It has some great flavors. You should try them all. Please head to paleovalley.com and use the code Benny for 15% off purchase. That's paleovalley.com and use the code Benny at checkout, paleovalley.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live now to talk about something that broke quite recently, which would be Melinda Gates throwing her ex-husband, Bill Gates, to the wolves over Jeffrey Epstein, saying, "You have some explaining to do." This is the clip that went thermonuclear viral yesterday, where Melinda Gates effectively says that Bill Gates must answer for his crimes with Jeffrey Epstein, saying that she's not going to be bailing him out anymore, and that the Epstein relationship destroyed her marriage. Here we go.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So, for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage. But I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
I wonder what you're...
So Melinda Gates saying that it is up to Bill Gates to answer the questions about what the hell he was doing with Jeffrey Epstein. We know from some of the recent reporting that Bill Gates allegedly got an STD from the Russian hookers that were being procured for him by Jeffrey Epstein, that Melinda Gates may have had some involvement there, that he may have been slipping antibiotics to Melinda Gates. Sounds like she knows more than she's letting on, and we really hope that she comes totally clean. Maybe Congress should subpoena them. We made some news yesterday that there may be a Bill Gates subpoena drive in Congress to find out what did Bill Gates know. And we should find that out. Bill Clinton is being forced to testify, and Bill Gates should also come in and under oath describe what he saw and what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein. His wife clearly saying, you got to get this guy to talk. A guy who's been talking for a very long time about a predator cult of very connected, very evil people that control the world and that will kill to keep and maintain power is Alex Jones. He's spent his entire life doing everything that he can to expose this network, and he is the most vindicated and correct man in America right now, based on everything that we've learned. The great Alex Jones from The Alex Jones Show joins the program. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who needs no introduction, Alex Jones, but I'm going to give him an introduction anyway. Alex Jones is a man who is running out of conspiracy theories to be proven right about. Alex Jones, in the release of the Jeffrey Epstein documents, 3 million documents, photos, and videos, is just probably the single most right man on the internet. He's been proven correct on so much, it's hard to really enumerate all of it, and we're honored to have you on the program, Alex. Congratulations. Take a victory lap.
Listen, I knew it was bad, but my God, they're like literally delivering kids and cannibalism. I mean, it's worse than I knew what was going on, but my God, this is insane. So just, I'm glad it finally got released. I didn't realize until December 19th they had an open hotline with more stuff coming in. So it's just crazy. But notice the Democrats now, through quote survivors, have introduced lawsuits to pull it now, and they're trying to block Trump, who's trying to get federal courts to release the grand jury documents. So the Democrats suddenly, this is really underreported, they suddenly want it all pulled back. I thought it was going to get Trump, said it gets them, all of them, Bill Clinton, all of them.
So this is President Trump in the White House yesterday saying this has been the biggest backfire in history. And they came swinging for me, and they ended up hitting Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, a number of other Democrats, big donors in the Democrat Party like Reid Hoffman. And now some of the pandemic stuff that's coming out is remarkable. We have emails that are showing that Bill Gates was coordinating with Jeffrey Epstein on the pandemic. I mean, maybe we should just start there. There are multiple pandemic email threads inside of the Jeffrey Epstein document dump. And those threads show Bill Gates all over it. They show planning operations that were happening throughout the government and throughout the Epstein network. This was happening in 2017 emails, Alex. So that's like right around the time. Yeah.
They're gearing up for the UN's Disease Acts. The Bill Gates a year before, and then tabletops, there'll be a new respiratory virus out of China. That's how we'll get control. And here he is with Epstein, with all these scientists coordinating. The new virus is coming. This is just so damning. I mean, it's the biggest thing in my 32 years on air. Nothing compares to this. This is 100 times bigger than the WikiLeaks, where we're delivering a 7-year-old, 9-year-old, and 11-year-old John Podesta to the wooded facility for the hot tub for your entertainment and, enjoyment. It's all in there. And there they are planning all this and the overthrow of governments and everything else. And nowhere is Donald Trump. But the corporate media is totally distracting from that, hoping we don't see this information. But the new independent media that's way bigger is covering it. So it's just an amazing time to be alive. And again, like I said, suddenly Democrats want the files pulled. They are in total panic mode.
So, okay, that's very interesting. What do you think of the likelihood of that happening? I hear that they've released about half of the files. So do you think we're going to see the other half? I mean, what's in those? Yes.
Well, the headlines are, victims' lawyers. But you look at the lawyers are Democrats.
Yeah.
And you have Democrats, again, Trump's like, 5 months ago, release the trial transcripts, release the grand juries, and then the Democrats that demand it go then block it. So, and Trump knew there would be a bunch of rumors and recycled stuff that's now been proven to be, false before. And now Trump said 3 days ago, well, we should have done this earlier. I'm vindicated. Yeah. So there's never been anything there about him. It's all Democrats. On my show, I say 99%. Then I kind of sat back and went, wait, there's no Republicans.
Well, that's right.
It's actually not. It's 100% Democrats. And it's all these big brokerage firms and bankers and heads of Harvard and head scientists at Harvard and at MIT, and it's all these big Democrat law firms with Epstein, and it's Epstein working with 4chan, 8chan to push anti-Trump stuff years ago. I mean, this is the Rosetta Stone. This exposes everything, and it's a wild time to be alive is all I got to say. And I'm glad to see Trump now getting it, because some of his advisors said, sir, there's a lot of lies about you, so maybe we should. He's like, okay. And now Trump's like, wait, this is great. Exactly. He should lean into this, and he should just absolutely demand even more be released. And he should be doing press conferences right now saying, look, I told you it's not me, it's them. They asked for it. Here it is. And so that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're starting to see that from the president. Not only victory laps, but also lawsuits. He's planning on suing Trevor Noah, Michael Wolff, maybe others who lied about him inside of the Epstein files.
Years ago with Epstein saying, Epstein's like, no, he never had a massage. He was never around the underage girls.
Right.
And Wolf's like, well, how do we get him? He's like, I don't know. And Epstein's like, there's recordings of it. He's like, that bastard, he's the one that put me in jail the first time. It just, we already knew all this. So I'm like, what are you scared of, Trump? But he had advisors saying, sir, it'll destabilize the economy. It'll hit all the, no. Let justice be done. May the heavens fall. And now that Trump gets that, because he didn't know what was in there. He just knew he was innocent. He knew the media was saying and implicated him. So he was right when he said it's a hoax like Russiagate that I'm involved. Then he clarified, no, Epstein's bad. I'm saying that I'm involved as a hoax. So he now needs to double down, have a press conference like he did. South African president said, we're not killing any whites. Then they showed them saying, kill the whites. The president saying, kill the whites. The next party saying it, and they all shut up. He should just have a press conference and say, okay, here's all the evidence. It's all Democrats. It's not me. And then that would explode his popularity, because when we had, the FBI director and deputy director 10 months ago or whatever saying, oh yeah, there's nothing there, that hurt Trump really bad. Mm-hmm. Because I know they were being advised there was nothing there. No, there is something there. And so now Trump needs to lean into this because it exonerates him. This is his greatest victory. They're trying to sell him that it's his greatest defeat. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes. They go, only royalty can see the special gold filament that we weave these with. And because he can't see, he goes, well, I'm royal, I better say I see it. It's the opposite. There's nothing there. And this is actually the same thing. And they want Trump to say there's something there. But it's the opposite. With the Democrats, it's all there. Trump just needs to lean into this, and it's game over.
So you're saying that President Trump should do a press conference with these photos directly behind him of Bill Clinton with, let's just call them young women, because we don't know which women there are, inside of hot tubs on his lap, arms around him on a plane. There are no photos that exist of Donald Trump like that. Everyone's screaming about Donald Trump and the Epstein files, and they don't look at the spy who shagged me up here in the top corner with Bill Clinton in this velour, tribal, velvety outfit with the world's foremost pederast, grinning ear to ear, shoving his face full of cake on Jeffrey Epstein's Pedo One, and then with photos of him in the hot tub. I mean, this photo in the hot tub is really something. That's like, dude, I don't know Bill Clinton's, I don't know like who's wearing how much clothes in this, but like that's the victim right there with their face blacked out. It would be 9/11. It would be 9/11, Alex, if it was Trump naked in a hot tub with an Epstein victim.
Well, that's right. This is the biggest lost opportunity ever. And so they told Trump, sir, we don't know. Oh, it's recycled lies, which it was. The fake chain does all that. E. Jean Carroll type stuff. Trump needs to absolutely lean into this because this is the reality of what they've done. And it's so crazy that they were that out of their minds to then try to release this. I think the corporate media could spin it against Trump with no evidence, with what is in these files is so damning to them. So this is Trump's to lose at this point. If he leans into it and goes scorched earth with them, it's game over. I mean, you've got Bill Gates' ex-wife, Melinda French, former Gates, saying today, or I guess last night, saying, I think they should all go to prison. This is a game changer. It's a sea change. My husband's a horrible person, which we know he was. I mean, you have John McCain's, wife saying, oh, yeah, we all knew Epstein was bad. You have all these other executives' wives coming out. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship here. We have them. And if Trump will just lean into this, because, again, he's nowhere in it, for God's sakes, then this is just the biggest victory ever.
So you have Melinda Gates. Yeah, I mean, Melinda Gates straight up being like, Bill Gates must answer for what he did, calling him muck in this clip and saying that this is the reason. She's never said this definitively. She said, Jeffrey Epstein and my husband's relationship is why my marriage collapsed. She has gone out and said that she comes out and says, scared. She says on late night TV, and we have this clip as well, that she couldn't be intimate with Bill Gates. And now we learn in Jeffrey Epstein's emails that Bill Gates had STD from Russian hookers, and that might have been the reason. I mean, that's crazy, Alex.
Well, it shows the arrogance of the Democrats. They knew Trump wasn't involved. And they still, through the DOJ, tried to bluff him and say, it'll hurt America, it'll hurt your friends, all this. And Trump finally, when they tried to set him up, said, fine, release it all. And then now it's all them, and all he's got to do is go nuclear with this, and it's game over. Absolutely game over. This is such a spectacular time to be alive, Benny Johnson, right now. But this is Trump's to lose. If he doesn't go, wild with this, then it's the greatest lost opportunity ever.
So I have this clip that you just mentioned, and it is a chilling clip, and I don't think a lot of people have seen it. It's of Cindy McCain, inarguably one of the most powerful women in America. She was married to John McCain. He was one of the most powerful senators in America. He ran for president. And Cindy McCain is here on stage saying, no, we all knew about Jeffrey Epstein. Like, we all watched it happen. Here we go.
Inside, Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him. All of a sudden, someone said,
So we all knew. We all knew him. We all knew what he was doing. At what point do we get a little bit of hellfire brought down on the political class? Because it seems like, Alex, if nobody goes to jail for this, if it's just a couple of salacious headlines and memes, that's not good enough for me.
And she goes on the clip to say, they better be leaving the country. They better run. And that's what Melinda Gates French said yesterday. So Trump is not involved in this. Trump has never done anything wrong. I've already vetted it all forever. They would have already used it. We know that. But here's the deal. If Trump doesn't hammer them, he basically is then negligent. I wouldn't say guilty, but negligent in allowing this to happen. It's like letting a 2-year-old wander around, in the backyard by the pool, and you don't watch them for an hour. You're not trying to kill the 2-year-old, but you're like kind of guilty if they die. And so all I'm saying is, Trump, you have them. You have them by the short hairs right now. And he should be like, oh, you knew, McCain. You knew, the ABC reporter, but shut it down. You knew, and you didn't do anything. And then you try to turn around and blame me. So this is the most teed up, perfect moment ever to destroy the deep state. And it just got to be done. But I would advise the president, like I said, do press conferences, play the clips. Because people can put it together. I could in an hour. Like Trump, play these clips. They're done. Yep. They're done. And they just hope that he doesn't understand that and lets the corporate media spin it and try to make it about him and the fake Jane Does that were disproven, or they're not even real women in 3 of the 5 cases. The others are like known schizophrenics that said he raped her at a golf course that didn't exist for 5 years, and then they had a hotline the last year saying, I was at Mar-a-Lago and Elon Musk and Trump, and then they look it up. Elon Musk and Trump weren't even there then. So all they've got is innuendo they've injected into the investigation to smoke screen it. But Trump can cut right into all the victims saying, never saw Trump, never abused me. One victim that did said, I worked at Mar-a-Lago. She recently died. And she's like, no, Trump was super nice. Epstein pulled me out of it. Trump fired him. Kicked him out. I mean, I've already vetted Trump. So Trump has like the perfect reality here if he just attacks. Now is the time for attack. We have their ass. But currently the corporate media is spinning this, only focusing on Trump with no information. And then we have top Democrats, foreign leaders, you name it, saying there's only one piece of pizza, but all 7 of you can enjoy it. This is a really good piece of pizza. And by the way, the people are literally like, God, I'm having nightmares. I'm seeing shadows. I don't want to kill kids. I mean, these emails are confirmed Epstein emails that match the Podesta emails from WikiLeaks. This is the holy grail of destroying them. And all Trump's got to do is release it. It's already released. All Trump's got to do is come out and speak out against it. And these people are vaporized. I mean, like a bug flying into a bug zapper. It's over.
You, of course, went to Bohemian Grove and you filmed the satanic ritual there. And it's one of the most famous videos on the internet. Nobody's been able to ever replicate anything like this. And how does it connect? Did this just effectively prove the overarching theme that there is a predator network of elites, royals, presidents, prime ministers that will kill for power? I mean, is this the overarching conspiracy that was proven here, Alex?
Yeah, Bohemian Grove is kind of a gateway drug. Half of them are members, half of them are just guests. And so it's simulated human sacrifice. So it's kind of like softcore, But when you get into Skull and Bones, you get into all of this, 100%, it's about a predator class that sees people as animals, and they are recruiting. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein had Baal, which was the main god, also known as Moloch, by some of the different cultures in the Middle East that they would sacrifice children to. He had his bank accounts named after this, and all this satanic iconography. So this really is, it's like MS-13. To be a made member, you got to torture a kid to death. People go, that sounds crazy. Well, that's the initiation of this. And so it really is good versus evil. And Trump has to face this. I know it sounds crazy for a 79-year-old man to come out and say we're facing pedophile Satanists. He thinks it's bad for the stock market, but they try to connect him to it with no evidence. He has to go ahead and hammer them. And I think he said like 3 days ago, he goes, wow, this vindicates me. It's like, yeah, Trump, I've studied it. I've talked to witnesses. You're not involved. So why are you being, he's like, well, it's a big mess and we don't know what to do. No, they're trying to hang it around your neck because it's what they fear. Like they say, don't use the military when we're rioting and attacking people. That's constitutional. They demonize what they fear. Oh, don't cover our pedophilia or we'll hang it around your neck. Don't whatever they don't want you to do, you should do. And so This is Trump's chance to finish him off right now. If he comes out with press conferences and exposes them and talks about it, it's absolutely game over. I mean, you have the Clintons trying to not testify. Now they're going to testify. You have the head of their foundation convicted of smuggling Haitian kids out of Haiti. You've got them. You've got them. And again, there's no evidence of Trump. They would have used it. So the idea that he hasn't done that is what drives me crazy, because we have victory in our hands. All Trump's got to do is punch one button and talk about this and point them out, and we've beat them.
So what is it that shocked you in this release? I know there's got to be something that you've seen that said, wow, I can't believe that this is all out in the open. Some of the pandemic planning stuff for me, some of the internal proximity, Bill Gates stuff has been just horrifying to watch and like really, really gross. But also some of the some of the extent of the network, like Ehud Barak calling Jeffrey Epstein for life advice after becoming prime minister of Israel. I mean, these are the kind of things that was like, my God, it really is like a big club. Like none of us are invited. It really is like a big club, and it's an entire network that exists above the law, above regular society. That's been sort of eye-opening to me, and just how utterly evil it all is with all of them networking and planning together. But Alex, you've been at this. You're the GOAT. So what is it that really jumped out at you?
I was shocked that they'd be like, we have a glowing piece of pizza that loves to have fun, and 7 of you are going to have this. And the next day they're like, oh, that piece of pizza was so good. Can I please have it again? And we have the FBI training manuals. And it's email after email after email about, we're delivering this piece of pizza to you. And they're like, oh God, the piece of pizza was so great. And you know what it is. And it's like they're doing this on email. They're so arrogant. They're organizing this. And then you've got the blackmailing of scientists and the control. You've got Epstein trying to get rid of Putin, overthrow governments. You see in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, when they were still so arrogant, they thought nobody's going to stop us. And they're just right there in the documents, operating out in the open like there would never be any response to it. And now they've tried to suppress all this for so long. The fact that this is out, can you imagine being them as they try to convince you it's Trump? They try to convince you that, and they even try to convince him, well, hurt national security, sir, we don't know what's in there. And it was all in recycled stuff like, oh, Trump's wife, worked for Epstein in a modeling agency. That was known 10 years ago not be true. And I predicted it'd be Jane Doe's and that and E. Jean Carroll. It was all recycled. And now Trump went, oh my God, it exonerates you. And it wasn't he did something wrong. He was just like, oh, this is a bunch of lies, because he knew it was lies about him, but not lies about the other people because it's their own emails. So, there's so much, though, that shocked me. It shocks me that they actually released all this. That somehow the Democrats thought they were going to get Trump. They pass a law, and now the Democrats get a file to try to pull it back to release all this, and now it's on them, and now they don't know what to do. It's pretty spectacular.
There are reports, and there's no way to know for certain, but there are reports that this is approximately half of what the DOJ has, and that they're planning on doing perhaps another release. But this has none of the CIA files. And there are some photos that are quite interesting of Jeffrey Epstein with giant boxes of CIA evidence bins. I found that very curious. We'll grab that and pop it up. What does this prove about Jeffrey Epstein's relation and connection to the intelligence community, Alex?
Yeah, I want to be clear. I'm very critical of Israel manipulating our internal and foreign policy. But the CIA is the dog, Israel's the tail. So is MI6. We know the Democrats use MI6 to target, Trump previously, so they're still powerful. But Epstein was CIA, high level. And that's why they tried to convince Trump for national security. Just say, sir, it's national security, CIA. Goes back to Bill Barr, who first hired Epstein at the girls' school, and whose dad, wrote books about space aliens kidnapping kids in the world to take them to a sex slavery dungeon called Space Relations. You can't make this up, folks. I'm sorry, it sounds totally insane. Believe me, I know.
You can't.
But it's real. And so this is a giant complex of evil that the average person, even President Trump, isn't aware of. And so that's why they're trying to suppress it, and that's why they're so scared. But now the cat's out of the bag. So Trump is either going to help push all this out and come out against it, which he's already done partially, or even though he's not involved, he will be blamed being part of the cover-up. So he must understand, for his mission to save America and save the world, and for his own future legacy, he must all in with us now and just vaporize the Democrats, destroy the deep state, or he will be, in his legacy, irrevocably tied to this fraud.
What do you think is left to come out? Like, let's say that they were able to do what they did with JFK and were able to finally start prying away from some CIA documents. And we just put up photos of Jeffrey Epstein with the CIA bins. We have articles of Jeffrey Epstein bragging about being a CIA agent from the early 1990s. What do you think will come out? What do you think is still left to be revealed in all of this?
Well, we know the FBI got hundreds and hundreds of hard drives and thousands of DVDs and VHS tapes where people went to these facilities to do illegal things, to get in the club. It was a rite of passage. People didn't go screw a 15-year-old girl, not knowing they weren't in a room being videotaped. They did it to like, okay, here's my initiation. I'll, have sex with a 14-year-old or whatever, so I'm in the club. It's just a gang initiation. And so they never thought that the public would push this out. They never thought a president would expose it. But because they're trying to pin it on Trump, I believe he'll finally release it all. He already is. So we know they have all those videos. We have Todd Blanchard saying, well, any video of a kid getting raped or being murdered, we're not going to release. They try to spin it. Oh, well, it's child porn he had. He didn't do it. How do you know that? He had contractors doing this. And it's in the emails that they're killing kids. I told people this decades ago. The gateway drug is the 14-year-old. Deeper, it's killing kids. They harvest their organs. That's come out in Ukraine as well. And so the public is about to have a big wake-up call. It's kind of the end of childhood here mentally, and realize how bad this is. And so Trump either goes to war with this and owns fighting it, which he's starting to do, and he's seen the success of that, or if he in any way doesn't push the release of this, he gets irrevocably tied to it, even though he was never part of it. And so that's really Trump's big choice right now.
What happens with Clinton here? I've never seen anything like it, with the Clintons actually saying, okay, well, actually, we give up. We surrender. I was not planning on that. I've never seen the Clintons do that in their entire political careers. Hillary Clinton wouldn't give up the election after losing fair and square to Donald Trump. And she tried to have the guy killed. Right? There's no, I'm shocked, Alex, that the Clintons have bent the knee.
Let's be clear about this. This I can answer your question on definitively. The old globalist order's dead. Davos is dead. The UN's dead. And the Clintons now know all their networks. The Clintons were using Wiener and the laptop for blackmail. That's been confirmed. And so they now know they're cut off. They now know that's all in Trump's possession. And they all know that the system would rather get them on a conviction of contempt of Congress than letting them come testify. So, yeah, this is their Waterloo. I want all the Democrats to know, all the leftists to know, Obama's out of power. That's one faction. Hillary's out of power. The Muslim Brotherhood's out of power. British intelligence is out of power. The Chi-Coms are almost out of power. All these special interests that had their fingers in America trying to bring us down, they're all being extracted. They're all losing. It's like at the end of the first Godfather, where he calls in, his brother-in-law that set up his brother's son to get killed. And he goes, listen, all your buddies are dead. Every single one of them. I just want you to be truthful about what you did. And, they take him for a ride after that.
Yeah.
But with Clemenza. But the point is like, we're at that point now where it's like, listen, all your buddies, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, China, the EU, Klaus Schwab's gone. They're all gone. And so I want the Democrats running around like chickens with their heads cut off, like zombies still following the old paradigm. You've already lost. Now you can try to overturn the table. That'll make it worse for you. But I want them to know, because I'm not somebody that says positive things when they're not due. This is ours to lose. And if Trump goes on the offense, we win quickly. We turn this around. We have a new golden age. They'll actually won. But we got to have strength right now. So It's done. It's over. They've lost, and they need to realize that and give up right now.
Some of the most horrible comments and stories and emails about rape and torture and murder exist inside of these documents. Some of the most powerful people on earth, and you're really left to wonder, like, what really did happen to Jeffrey Epstein in that jail cell. There's one very interesting series of DOJ documents that show the investigation and charging of one of the lieutenants that was working at the prison the night that Jeffrey Epstein died. And he said that Jeffrey Epstein was wheeled out in a medical wheelchair and that he was handcuffed to the wheelchair, taken to a transfer van, and nobody ever saw Jeffrey Epstein again. And he thinks they switched him. What do you think about that, Alex?
I think there's a very good chance Epstein's still alive. I mean, I don't know, but we're being completely lied to. Yeah, witness protection type stuff. He was a major CIA spy working directly for Bill Barr and his father. I mean, Bill Barr was a young man running Iran-Contra and then Attorney General twice. And we now know from documents that came out that he was with Fannie Willis in Georgia getting the indictments ready before the election in 2024. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying Epstein's still alive, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't believe any of this. And it's because Epstein, and people say, oh, you're covering for Israel. No, I go where the truth is. More than anything, he was CIA. And now you have the King Charles's brother now has been detained by the police. He'll be brought in for police custody. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship right now. I mean, this is historic. It's very, very dangerous. And I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, but for God's sakes, Trump saying 3 days ago or 2 days ago, oh, I'm exonerated. Oh, yeah, because they lied to him and said, sir, there's a bunch of lies about you. And plus we can't prove it. So he's like, okay, you know what? No, Trump, this is your victory. This is your Excalibur, but you've got to execute it. And it's yours to lose. Just cry havoc, let loose the dogs of war, to quote Shakespeare. Now is the time that people want truth. We need the truth. It's already devastating. It's not going away. I mean, Epstein went from being a 10, like a Spinal Tap, to an 11 to 100. I mean, it is now just, this is never stopping. It's never going away. And it's emblematic of the collapse of the old power structure where we are right now. So lead, follow, get out of the way. Trump's already the leader. He's totally innocent. Just come out and lead us on a crusade against the satanic pedophiles, the Islamicists, the leftists, the communists, the globalists, the EU, the Chi-Coms, and Trump. We will back you 1,000,000,000%. We want action.
Talk about Barack Obama, the Clintons, Bill Gates, a lot of Americans, the McCains, obviously. But Prince Andrew, man, I don't know how to explain these photos, Alex. This is a woman who's, it's a blonde woman. She seems relatively young, perhaps unconscious.
Yeah, she looks like a 14-year-old or like a 12-year-old.
And yeah, like, you know, the face is blacked out.
I don't know, my 8-year-old daughter looks about that big. Yeah.
This is a Epstein victim, and here's Prince Andrew sort of leering over her, crouching over her, and what is to be made of this? Like, what about the royal family?
What
are the ramifications?
Hunter did this. When, like 6 years ago or whatever it was, 5 years ago, I got the Hunter laptop, which is confirmed to be real, and I got on it for like 5 hours, and it was like all the videos of him masturbating and clearly trophy videos with girls like they're 10 years old in beds, and I was like, I told the crew, I said, I'm making a decision. I'm not looking at this. I've never seen child porn. This is child porn. I'm not looking at it. And I said, in fact, I don't want any of you looking at it. You want to go report it on this, do it somewhere else. I'm not mad at you. You're not fired. But the first time ever, I told my reporters, we're not covering this because we're not going to look at this, which some can argue, go ahead and do that. It's just you got to be specialized and stuff. There's so many issues. And, you know, they tried to spin it and say it wasn't real. But, yeah, the point is this is trophy videos. I mean, you got Hunter with like all these little kids, the oldest about to be 12, half naked with him with a towel on in a bed with 5 kids. And you know, at first he said, oh, the diary isn't real of Biden's daughter. And then later they confirm it's real. He's like, yeah, my dad, you know, I think raped me in the shower. That's what they always say. I think they did. So, I mean, this is beyond sick. And it's coming out regardless. Trump just needs to totally get on the side of his admin. And I know it's unsavory, but this is the bloodletting we need politically, not violently. We have to lance the wound. You have to get the pus out. and just fry them. I'm telling you, if Trump had a press conference and just showed what's in the files, the worst stuff, his approval rate will go up 30 points. People want justice. They want to fry the Democrats, and it's all Democrats. So, and I get Trump's a nice guy. You know, he's always like, he said, oh, I want to prosecute Hillary, 8 years ago. Well, how'd that work out? It's not like we're vengeful people. These are zombies that won't quit attacking. So we have to put them down politically. So it's like Old Yeller. You love Old Yeller, and at the end of the movie, Old Yeller gets rabies, and you're not happy about it, but you got to, it's the Democrats party and this whole pedophile network's Old Yeller. It's foaming at the mouth. It's like Cujo. And so do what you have to do.
What does it say about the royal family? I mean, what does it say that like Prince Andrew was clearly allowed to do this? And Prince Andrew's wife, by the way, is in these files congratulating Jeffrey Epstein on his son. I guess I had no idea that Jeffrey Epstein had a biological child. But they're all over. They're like gossiping together and back and forth. There's no way they didn't know about this in the royal family. Jeffrey Epstein, there's photos of Ghislaine Maxwell sitting on the throne of England in Buckingham Palace. Like, so what does this say exactly about the royal family? This is a good one. Here's Prince Andrew laying across the lap of, I can count a dozen Epstein victims. You want to talk about trophies? Here they are, with Ghislaine Maxwell watching gleefully. What does it say about the royal family, Alex?
Jimmy Savile, they found his dungeon, satanic dungeon. They would murder children, confirmed. Top confidant of the royal family. I mean, this is a predator class that once you go down the dark side, which I've not done, but I've read about it. Like, to me, a steak gets better as I get older. Enchiladas get better. A sunset gets better. Being a nice person, like being with my family gets better. These divorced from reality elites, they have to do worse and worse stuff because nothing's exciting. We all know that from history, that power corrupts absolute, power corrupts absolute. That's Lord Acton from England. And so that's what they're doing in their free time, is the most deranged. And those of us that are normal and just want to, go to church and work out and hang out with our kids and go to the beach, and it never gets old going to the beach. I see all your videos, you and your family, great looking kids, wife, out. Hey, we're at the beach playing football, barbecuing. A cheeseburger it gets better. I'm like 52, and I'm like, God, the cheeseburgers just get better and better. These people they're missing something spiritually. So life doesn't get better for them; it gets worse. And so only being selfish and evil does it get better. Does that make sense?
So, maybe I'll just re-ask it. Like what was the CIA? What was the op? In conclusion to all of this,
Skull and Bones created CIA.
What was the op for Epstein, right? So if we can just, what do these files prove that Epstein's purpose was to the intel agency?
His purpose, the Five Eyes, it's EU intelligence, Interpol, all of it. He was more like a switchboard operator to compromise scientists, politicians, other people, and then trade all the information to all the agencies to control them. And most of the people that came to do it knew it was an initiation. Like, they were begging to come. I want to go to the party. You can trust me. I mean, most of them wanted to do it. I would say basically all. Now, lower level, he had a bunch of 16, 17, 15-year-old girls. They were recruited in New York, in Florida, and in Europe they were compromising down to police chiefs and people. Oh, come to a poker party. Oh, this girl looks like she's 20. She's really 16, really 15. And so it was massive. It was absolutely massive. So it was different stratas. Epstein complains in court cases and emails, God, I had to have sex with 10 women today. And he's in emails, like going to sex parties, going, listen, I'll come have the meeting about the money, but I'm exhausted, no sex. So that's what Ghislaine was doing, is they were just running around full time, and he was buying girls when they were 9, 10 in Serbia and in areas of Eastern Europe, who he'd fly back and train, who were then the stewardesses on the airplanes when they're 20, who would then manage the girls. So it was mainly the girls, the women that were brought up pedophilia, that would be the managers of the kids. It's all been known already. So he ran an industrial scale clearance house to turn people into spies. And people, and the money laundering and the weapons trafficking and all of that was the real issue. It was just mainly the initiation. And this is how it begins. And Teddy Gunderson exposed all this in the Finders case before it was declassified partially. He explained to me like 30-something years ago. He said, you know, first it's like a 16-year-old girl. I'm talking to Secret Service agents, FBI, you name it. They'll be overseas. And their boss will say, listen, we want to give you a promotion, but we want to trust you. We got a really hot hooker. Here she is. And it'd be like a 30-year-old hooker. If you have sex with her, now they can tell your wife. And about a month later, they go, here's a bag of $100,000. We want you to keep this. But we want you to have sex with this girl. She's 16. And then next is a 12-year-old. And then next they take you to some deal and they go, you know, there's a kid down in that basement. It's causing us a problem. It's a 10-year-old. Go in there and choke him to death. And they'll say, I'm not going to do that. They say, well, here's video of you screwing a 12-year-old last week. If you don't do it, we're gonna kill you. And so I can't tell you all the people I've interviewed, like prominent, you know, this is on record. My God, I've interviewed John DeCamp, all people with exposed, the Republicans doing this stuff. You know, you had the Democrats running townhouses full of like 12, 13-year-old boys, Barney Frank, and then that all came out, it got shut down. And they come to you at the end and they say, and the people that are into this, like later, we're talking about billionaires, they go, listen, sometimes they call you up and they go, I want you to come to my house and I want you to wash my dishes and mow my yard. And it might be an intelligence operative who lives in $1 million house versus some billionaire. And the billionaire has to come over and literally clean their toilets. And then sometimes that's that black eye club. It doesn't mean every time you have a black eye it happens. Sometimes they're like, hey, come to this meeting. You go to a bar, you know, go to the top of a building, and they just beat you up. It's all about raw. If you read 1984 with O'Brien, which is Orwell was the head propagandist for MI6 OSS in World War II. He is Winston Smith in the book. He said this in essays before he died. He wrote the book and died a year later. Tuberculosis probably killed him up in Scotland. But he said, no, this is an allegory of my real life. And O'Brien is pulling his teeth out and torturing him. He goes, listen, I'll do whatever you say. He goes, no, when I show you 4 fingers and I say how many, I want you to see 10, 20, 30, 5, 6, whatever. I want you to see whatever I tell you. At the end, he just sees whatever he tells him. He goes, now we're going to put you in the Chestnut Cafe. And one day when you don't know, blow your head off, put you in a furnace and push you out in the atmosphere and no one will know ever exists. We're about trampling good people. We're the priest of power. If you want to image the future, it's a boot stomp in the human face forever. So you ask, why do they do this? It's their religion. He named his bank accounts after Baal that you sacrifice children to. To them, it is about being evil. The destination is the journey. The journey is the destination. So for those of us that just want to go home and be nice and like are happy people and, you know, want to sit around and, you know, play a game of, you know, cards or whatever, we aren't of their world. We are not of their satanic system, so we don't understand it. And that's the blind spot in how they operate.
Man, this is incredibly dark and totally evil and something that makes your skin crawl, and it's hard to listen to, honestly. You stare too much into darkness, and you'll become dark yourself. You stare too much into evil.
Well, Nietzsche said, stare too long into the abyss, become the abyss. He said, fight monsters too long, become the monster.
So I guess as a follow-up to that, just very quickly, Alex, what must happen for the American people to regain trust back in their systems that we are not paying taxes to this predator cult? What must be done?
Well, let's be clear. Insurance actuaries, 30 million dead conservatively from the shots. Our life span is lowering. We're already living the wages of sin. They're not just killing us. I mean, like the upper cult members kidnapping kids and doing stuff is kind of a boutique thing. They're doing it still terrible. But the mass death with the GMO and the microplastics and the you know the 5G and the poison shots, that's really where it is. And so we have to understand, like, most people think, oh, I don't want to fight tyranny, it's too complex. And, you know, no, you're meant to do it. So it's not a job to fight tyranny. It is an opportunity. It is a fulfillment of your destiny. And so I would tell people, pray to God, you know, get up early in the morning, get your mind clear when it's dark, get on your knees and just say, God, what do you want me to do? Don't ask God for stuff. Ask God, what do I do? And then take time out during a break during your day. Just go in your office or wherever, you know, and literally get on your knees and say, God, what do I do? And do it before you go to bed at night. And just open the channel up to God, and God will have the answers. But God is very quiet. It's a whisper, like King David said, the quiet place, the Most High. And so you have to literally, just get in that place and say, what am I supposed to do? And God will tell you, well, this person's got a problem you're working with. Go help them. It's not just going to be out fighting pedophiles. Most of this is not some big giant, your sword, you're fighting Sauron and you're the big victor. No, it's like you get up when your kid's got flu and take care of them. You go take care of your parents. You work hard. You do the right thing. You don't cut corners. You don't submit to lies. You don't back down. The way we fight evil is just every little thing we do. And then when you do all that, everybody, even if you don't think you're that informative, everybody should get online and speak out. Everybody should have a camera ready if they see something to shoot video and show it. It just activate and realize you were born to fight tyranny. It's not some side issue. You were born to be alive right now, and you got to ask God to lead, guide, and direct you. My dad growing up would always read this Christian prayer. They were both Baptist and Methodist, so communist now, but I think it's a Methodist prayer. But he would just pray that, God, we humble ourselves before you, and we ask, we just thank you so much for your Son Jesus Christ and the gift of consciousness and everything you've given us. We ask you to, I'm butchering the prayer, but we ask you to lead, guide, and direct us, and that your will be done here as it's done in heaven. So please use us as vessels. We ask you in our hearts right now to rebuild us every minute and push the sin out of us, and to make us strong through your power. And we are so humble, and we thank you. Lead, guide, and direct me. You just say, lead, guide, and direct me. Because God is a God of free will. You have to say, I need to be led. I need to be guided. I need to be directed. Lead me, guide me, direct me. I'm weak. I can't do it. Lead, guide, direct me. And God will lead, guide, and direct you.
Spoken like a true man of God, like somebody who's been through some of the worst fires that life can provide, that hellfire can bring upon man. The great Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen, spoken from passion and conviction and directly from the heart as ever. Please follow Alex Jones right here. He's got millions and millions of followers and subscribers across platforms, and support those who have been telling truth and who have sacrificed dearly for telling truth. And Alex Jones is just one of those great men. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
I'm glad that we're heading to our verse of the day. After that, I'm gonna have to go and process that. I don't know how Alex knows all that stuff. That was a much deeper and darker place than I've ever been in any interview. But in order to defeat evil, you have to stare directly at it. In order to defeat your enemy, you must be able to see your enemy. And Alex Jones can see, man. That was scorched earth. You might say it was a red light face mask. A burning, searing. Alex Jones face burning. That's not what will happen with your Bond Charge face mask. Bond Charge is a partner of the program. They have a wonderful product. It is something that, unlike Alex Jones, it won't burn your face off. It is just good red, natural light for you. You don't get enough of it because you're inside of a dark office all day. And so this is how you chill, relax. I'm going to need to do that after this interview. It can help you with wrinkles, blemishes. It can help you feel just good, up your endorphins. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, with a 1-year warranty, sleek and lightweight, you can travel with it. Make Bond Charge the red light mask for you. Go to bondcharge.com/Benny and use the coupon code Benny for 15%. That's BONCHARGE.com/Benny and use coupon code Benny to save 15% today. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are at the moment traveling, and we'll be traveling with our Patriot mobile devices. We'll be traveling the whole rest of the week, man. You hate it, but you hate to be disconnected. And Patriot Mobile keeps us connected on the road, and we are thankful for that. We're thankful that they're the only Christian conservative wireless provider in the world, and they're been a longtime partner to us. Patriot Phone keeps us connected and able to fight darkness, ladies and gentlemen. As we go around the country, we bring them with us. They are the backbone of the show. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, call 972-PATRIOT, and use the promo code Benny for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT to make the switch today. Our verse of the day. Oh boy, I was like, during the Alex interview, I was like, I can't wait for the verse of the day, man. I'm going to need some cleansing fire. Let's go from Ephesians. Perfect. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. God shall have the victory. It is not for us to win. It is only through God and through his power that we can be salt and light unto the earth, and that we can conquer all darkness. The most evil thing, of course, they can do to you is to kill you. Alex described a lot of that. They'll kill you. They'll visit death upon you. But Christ conquered death. And the power to conquer death lives within you if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So let's have a bit of an exorcism here on this show, as Alex Jones sort of explained how dark and evil things can get, and embrace the light. Embrace it with this program. Walk with us, march with us, on to victory that is assured for us in Christ, Jesus our Lord. Keep fighting, salt and light. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Hey, 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 guess what day? Guess what? Guess what day? Hey, 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 guess what day? Guess what? Guess what day? Guess what? No list, guess what? No arrest, as if a million QAnon cried out in terror and suddenly silenced. But guess what? Guess what day it is? It's hump day. Hey, 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 guess what day? Guess what? Guess what day? Hey, hey, hey.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media dillweeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for #1. Show come to mind. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.